Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to make next week's prediction. Remember, keep in mind this is a short-term prediction. The trades do not have to play out the way I expect it to. Make sure you have a contingency plan. Make sure you have a stop loss. Make sure it works with your own trading plan, and use your own judgment. The purpose of this video, do not copy the trades. The video is for you to understand sort of my thought process in why I pick the coins that I pick. It's just for you to understand the concepts. So how I'm going to structure this video is that I'm going to explain what I think the overall market is going to do. I'm going to review last week's coins pick, see where we can improve on, see what went right and what went wrong, and then try to predict next week's coin and give a more accurate probability of which levels I think it will hit. So let's get started. So I do think that after making this most recent video of Bitcoin, I do think that we are much more likely to go up, because after going through the entire list, so if I went through Coinbase list, I noticed that a lot of coins have started to make their 50% pumps. So that usually when a lot of altcoins do that, it signals to me that the overall market is wanting to go up. So since all the altcoins are doing that, there's an inclination that Bitcoin is more likely to do that. So I do think that we are probably going to break this blue median line very, very soon, right after this video is released, more or less. Like, I mean, it can or can't. I don't know for sure, but I'm getting the sense that it's a lot, the probability of this being the bottom is very, very high for me at this point. I do think that if I have to put a number to it, I would say it's now 60% likely to go up and 40% likely to go down. That doesn't mean that it can't go down, doesn't mean that we can't U-turn, doesn't mean we can't, anything could happen. But right now, I'm feeling that the sentiment is more likely to go up in the very near term. Given that that's the case, I do think that nearly all altcoins are going to do really, really well. I do think that, most of these coins are going to put in 30% within this upcoming week. So choosing one or another is not going to, it'll be pretty safe to choose one or the other. But this is a point where it can U-turn. Like usually when Bitcoin goes up like this, there's still a very high probability of U-turning. I won't discount that, but seeing a lot of altcoins moving up 50% gives me the confidence that there might be a large chance that we keep going up. So that's my overall sentiment about Bitcoin. Like in more detail, you can just watch the previous videos. I do go into more detail of if we do break down, how we're likely to break down into what level. So just go ahead and take a look at those. As for last week's coins, these are the 4 coins that we chose. So DDX, Carl, LRC, and IDX. And it was 7 days ago. So let's just go ahead and measure 7 days ago. So it was on January 26th. So it did look like DDX did as what we predicted, although we didn't place a lot of confidence in DDX. It did do well, so I give it a plus for DDX. For Carl, it was also the same thing. It also did a pump, so it did a 30% pump. Give it a plus for Carl. LRC also did well. So when I released the video 7 days ago, I think it's 8 days ago at this point. So I have to double check the date, but it did. From the time that I released the video, I do know that LRC moved up an additional 30%. And from the bottom to the top, it was near 100%. So I would say LRC is a success. For this upcoming video, so for this video, I'm going to specify the exact price. I remember last week I didn't specify the price of what I think the target is. I just merely said the percentages. So in this week, it will give a more concrete percentage value. And for IDX, yeah, IDX also did very well. So yeah, this one did 100% as we predicted. So I would say it's a 80% success rate, both the target and the prediction. So all 4 of them was correct, but maybe I should have been more specific in terms of LRC's price. IDX did its 100% move. So right now I'm not considering anything above 100%. So IDX is a perfect choice. So that was last week. So now let's go ahead and look at this week's coin. I do think it's these 4 coins. And out of the 4 coins that I think, out of these 4 coins, I do think that RLY and FET are the best ones. But let's go through it one at a time. Let's start with FET. First things first, we have to check if FET is diluted. So make sure you go into coinmarketcap.com and check if it's diluted. Diluted simply means the founders are flooding in more coins. So it does look like FET is not diluted. So what it means by diluted is something like this, right? Essentially, you want both the market cap chart and the price to look more or less the same. If it doesn't look the same, then you can tell that the inflation rate or what the founders flood into the market is essentially they're like manipulating the price. Not really manipulating. Manipulating is not the right word. More like they're taking larger percentage share from other backholders. So an example would be like GRT. So GRT would be where the founders are abusing, are overinflating the coin, and they're taking more of the profit. So let me show you what I mean. So you notice how the price and the price chart looks different from the market cap. So the thing is that the more valuable chart is the market cap, chart. So if you can tell, right? If look at when I'm hovering over the current price, it says $2.07 billion, right? If we go back into the past, right, we look for 2.70 billion. Let's say it's right around here, right? Right around, let's say February 27. If we go ahead and look at February 27, right? Then if we look at the price, right? February 27 is $1.57, right? But the current price is 43 cents. So let me recap. The market cap is the same, but the price is different. That essentially means that the founders ripped off the other backholders by what was it again? $2 and what is that? $1 and something. Ripped it off by 4 times. So they flooded the number of coins by 4 times the amount. So originally it was like 1.1 billion GRT. Now there's 4 times as much. So the percentage that each other holders have, their percentage rate of the entire asset is less. So you have to watch out for that. So if we go back to FET, right? FET doesn't have that, so we don't have to worry about it. So we can more or less rely on this chart. So that implies that this chart is reliable. So based on what I'm seeing here, right? Given that the probability of Bitcoin going up, like my guess is that Bitcoin is going to perform well this week. That would imply that a lot of coins are going to perform well this week. So I do think that 30% from here is a guarantee. Like I'll put the odds of FET moving up 30% from the bottom at like a 90% probability of occurring. So like pretty high. So I do think that FET hitting 37 cents is like pretty high guarantee. I would put it at 41 cents at like 80%. You know, normally these coins like to hit the blue median line. Just keep that in mind. So just to recap, I do think FET is 90% probability of hitting 37 cents, and I do think that 85% hitting at 41 cents. And I do think ultimately FET will do 60%. So hit this red median line. So do 60% from here. I do think that FET is 70% likely to hit 46 cents. So probably 50 cents because the market usually likes to round up, right? The market likes to hit whole numbers. So I would say 50 cents is somewhat of a probability of hitting, like, you know, pretty good odds. If the market turns, right, if Bitcoin goes down, then, you know, all bets are off the table, right? All bets are off the table. But for the time being, given that I believe that Bitcoin is going to perform well, I do think that FET is also going to perform well. So just keep these prices in mind. Yeah. So today is, today is February 2nd. So the other one that I think is going to perform well is also RLY. So these are the two primary ones that I think are going to perform well. Notice that there is a divergence here. So and we've taken a negative 76% drop, which is not as crazy. Ideally, you do want this to be 83%, but, you know, 76%, anything above 70% is actually really good. Not really good, like, you know, worth considering a bounce for. So yeah, so FET did a negative 73. RLY did a 76. So we also have to make sure that RLY is not diluted. Let's go and double check that. If it's diluted, then we have to use a different chart. So yeah, so notice how it's diluted, right? So I would not place a lot of bet in ROI. Given now seeing this, I would actually rule this out. So I wouldn't gamble this. This is not worth the gamble. Um, Simply because it can drop more. Just keep in mind that it can drop more. Yeah. And when I see this, instinctually, my thought process is, I wouldn't even touch this unless I see negative 83%. So we'll go ahead and take RLY off the list. Let's go ahead and check Jasmy. I do know off the top of my head Jasmy is not diluted, but you know, for thoroughness sake, let's just go ahead and just check it. Yeah, this is a little bit different. If we look at it from 1 year's past, this is different because this essentially means that coinmarketcap didn't capture the data of Jasmy at this point in time. So just keep that in mind. So Jasmy, I think, is also going to perform well, but it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to perform well later in the week. So I'm thinking sort of like towards Saturday and Sunday. So that would be like 4 or 5 days out, because I do expect it to fall a little bit more before it pumps. The reason being is that Jasmy already did its 100% pump here, right? So every time it does a pump like that, the assumption is that the next following pump has to be some amount of time later. So I do expect it to take some amount of time later for it to pump. Since I do expect it to go down a little bit, I would say, well, it doesn't have to, right? None of these things have to play out that way. I would say the odds of it hitting 6 cents is like 70%. I would say the odds of hitting 7 cents, like 55. 100% is possible, but I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't consider the 100% option. So those are the two prices that I would expect it to hit with those probability odds. The last one is CFG. For me, I think CFG also falls in the same boat as a Jasmy, where it is going to perform well later in the week. Like, keep in mind, these are just predictions. Like, these two coins could just pop up tomorrow for all I know, right? These are short-term predictions, so you have to kind of gauge it. I do expect it to drop a little bit more. I'm not sure by how much, but for CFG, I personally, a lot of these coins, I don't like really touching it unless I see 83%. But given that the market is going to perform well, I also expect CFG to perform well too. So I do expect a 30%, match this previous high. So 80 cents I expect to see it, and $1 is what I expect to see. So these two prices I expect to see, 60% and 30%. These two are the same probability odds as Jasmy. 70% here and like 55% here. So that's my prediction for the week. I do think that FET is the best, followed by CFG, followed by Jasmy. But I do think that Jasmy and CFG are more or less identical. But CFG is a little bit better because CFG didn't have the 100% pump recently versus Jasmy did, right? Like, notice that this 100% bump happens. Like this pump right here, it's like 21%. Like this, the last time I had any major pump was right here, but this is already quite a while ago, and this is only 30%. So I do think CFG is slightly better than Jasmy in that regards. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you guys did, make sure to comment below what risk you took today. I read all the comments. I do want everyone and all my subscribers to improve in their lives as much as I try to improve in my life as well. Like, I need you guys' help as much as hopefully I can provide that help for you. Take whatever risks that you need to do to improve your life. So do comment down below on what risk you took today, just to make the future that you want a little bit better. Other than that, hopefully you guys take care of yourself, and take care.